Imagine finding out that someone you've never met knows where you live, where you work, what coffee shop you go to, and even when you're alone. Not because they hired a private investigator, not because they hacked you, but because an AI did the work for them in minutes. Right now, artificial intelligence is changing stalking forever, and the scariest part is, most people have no idea how exposed they really are. In this video, we're going to break down how AI is transforming stalking from something creepy and difficult into something automated, scalable, and terrifying accessible. Because the future of privacy is changing fast, and by the end of this video, you may never look at your online life the same way again. One of the biggest misconceptions people still have about stalking is this idea that the stalker has to be highly intelligent, highly trained, or some kind of hacker genius. But AI is changing that completely, because for the first time in history, someone with below average intelligence or technical skill and almost no investigative experience can suddenly access something that feels like a professional detective sitting in their pocket 24 hours a day. Think about this. Years ago, a stalker might look at your social media profile and miss important clues because they simply didn't know what they were looking at. Maybe they see a reflection in a window, a street sign in the background, or a photo of your coffee cup. To most people, that information means nothing. But an AI can now help connect those dots. It can suggest patterns. It can point out clues. It can explain investigative techniques that used to belong mostly to law enforcement, intelligence analysts, private investigators, or highly experienced cyber criminals. Suddenly, the stalker is no longer relying only on their own intelligence. They are borrowing the intelligence of massive AI systems trained on enormous amounts of human knowledge. And that changes the equation completely. Because many victims still judge danger based on who the stalker used to be. They're not smart enough to find me. They're not technical enough. They won't know how to track someone online. But the reality now is that the stalker may not need those skills anymore. AI can act like a coach, a strategist, a research assistant, sometimes even a step-by-step guide that helps connect information faster than a human could on their own. That means ordinary people can suddenly start operating with capabilities that feel disturbingly close to professional investigators. And as AI becomes more advanced, the barrier between amateur obsession and highly sophisticated surveillance keeps getting smaller. But this is where AI stalking starts becoming something far more disturbing than simply finding information. Because once an AI has enough data about you, it doesn't just help someone track where you are, it starts helping them predict who you are. Think about how much of ourselves we leave online without realizing it. Every post, every comment, every late night tweet, every photo your friends tagged you in, every review, playlist, username, gaming profile, dating profile, job update, fitness app route, or family picture sitting somewhere on the internet. Individually, those details may seem harmless, but AI is excellent at turning tiny fragments into a complete picture. It can begin mapping your routines, the times you're active online, the places you visit repeatedly, the people closest to you, your hobbies, your fears, your emotional triggers, even changes in your mood or stress patterns based on the way you write and communicate. Years ago, stalkers often had to physically follow victims to slowly learn these things over months or years. Now, AI can accelerate that process massively. And the truly unsettling part is that prediction is often more powerful than surveillance. Because when someone starts accurately predicting your behavior, it can feel less like they are watching you and more like they somehow know you, like they're inside your head. Maybe they message you exactly when you're emotionally vulnerable. Maybe they bring up subjects that trigger fear, guilt, nostalgia, or anxiety. Maybe they know how to alternate between kindness and intimidation to keep emotional control over the situation. That's because AI systems are increasingly capable of analyzing communication patterns and identifying what psychologists sometimes call pressure points, the emotional areas most likely to provoke a strong reaction. In other words, the stalker no longer has to guess what affects you emotionally. The AI can help optimize the interaction, the exact wording, the exact timing, the exact emotional tone. And that changes stalking from simple obsession into something far more calculated, personal, and psychologically invasive. Because in the past, victims feared being followed. In the AI era, victims may begin to fear being understood. And if all of that already sounds terrifying, years have passed, most people still don't understand. What we've been talking about so far is mostly what an individual person can do with AI assistance, an amateur. Someone manually typing prompts into a chatbot. But AI is rapidly moving beyond simple chatbots into something far more powerful called AI agents. And AI agents change the game completely because instead of just answering questions, AI agents can perform tasks autonomously. They can search, monitor, analyze, cross-reference, repeat actions endlessly. They don't get tired. They don't get bored. And they can operate 24 hours a day. That means a stalker no longer has to sit at a computer refreshing your social media accounts manually. The AI does it for them. Imagine an AI agent monitoring every public account connected to you, your friends, your family, your co-workers, your old classmates, watching for location tags, photos, events, usernames, background details, or accidental leaks of information. And here's the scary part. Humans miss things. AI agents don't miss much. Even if a friend accidentally posts a photo revealing where you are, then deletes it within seconds. An always running AI system may already have captured it, analyzed it, and connected it to hundreds of other data points. Now multiply that across dozens of accounts simultaneously. Suddenly, one obsessed individual can appear to have an entire intelligence team working for them around the clock. Multiple investigators, multiple analysts, constant surveillance, except it's all automated. And AI agents don't necessarily stop at social media. As these systems become more capable, they can increasingly be tasked with pursuing goals independently, finding where someone works, identifying routines, correlating public records, reaching out to businesses or contacts, testing different approaches to gather information, not because the AI cares about the victim, but because it was given an objective: find this person. And unlike humans, AI systems don't naturally experience frustration, exhaustion, or emotional burnout. They can keep iterating endlessly, trying new methods, connecting new clues, and continuously refining their search. That's why this technology represents such a massive shift. In the past, stalking was often limited by human effort, time, intelligence, and persistence. AI agents are beginning to remove those limits. And maybe you're watching this thinking, none of this applies to me because I barely use social media. But that may no longer protect people the way it once did. Because modern stalking is starting to borrow techniques directly from a world of advanced scams and social engineering. And AI is making those techniques dramatically more believable. We've already seen scammers use deepfakes and voice cloning to impersonate celebrities, executives, and even family members. Fake video calls, fake emergency phone calls, fake voices that sound almost identical to real people. But now imagine those same tools being used not primarily for money, but for information. A stalker may not need you to reveal where you are. They may simply manipulate someone else in doing it for them. Think about how dangerous that becomes. A stalker can clone a voice from only a small sample. They can create fake calls, fake video messages, fake identities, and then contact friends, co-workers, family members, or businesses connected to the victim. Not with obvious scams, but with emotionally manipulative scenarios designed to lower people's defenses. For example, imagine someone receives a video call from what appears to be a doctor in a hospital. Behind them is a patient looking like you, lying unconsciously in bed. The caller urgently explains that there's been a serious car accident. They're trying to identify the patient, and they desperately need confirmation of where the person lives or who their emergency contacts are. Most people don't respond to situations like that logically. They respond emotionally. They want to help. They panic. They cooperate. Especially when the video looks real. The voice sounds professional. The urgency feels authentic. Except none of it may be real. The doctor could be AI generated. The hospital scene could be fake. You as a patient in the background could be a deepfake reconstruction. And the terrifying thing is that this type of deception attacks something fundamental in human psychology: trust. Because humans evolved in a world where seeing and hearing something was strong evidence they were real. AI is beginning to break that assumption. And once that happens, even people who carefully protect their own privacy can still become vulnerable through everyone around them. And if you think the escalation stops there, it doesn't. Because the next evolution is not just surveillance, not just deception, and not even impersonation. It is infiltration. AI is now being used to build entirely artificial people, not just fake profiles with stolen photos and a few copied posts, but fully generated identities, complete personalities, full histories, hobbies, opinions, routines, friendships, even memories of events that never happened. These accounts can exist across multiple platforms, interacting like real humans, posting regularly, engaging in conversations, liking, commenting, reacting, building consistency over time. The kind of consistency that makes people stop questioning whether the account is real at all. And once that trust is established, something much more dangerous becomes possible: access. Because stalking in the modern sense doesn't always require breaking into systems or tracking GPS signals. Sometimes it only requires information given freely in conversations. AI-powered agents can now manage these fake identities at scale. They don't just post, they respond intelligently. They adapt tone, they remember context. They can slowly build rapport with your friends, your family, your co-workers. They can ask subtle questions that don't feel suspicious in the moment. They can blend into group chats, common threads, workplace discussions, online communities, and over time they gather fragments, not necessarily big secrets, just small, seemingly harmless details: a workplace name, a gym location, a park you visited on weekends, a habit someone mentions in passing. Individually, none of it feels important. But this is where the danger compounds. Because modern stalking doesn't require full information. It only requires one usable lead, one person saying something as casual as, "Yeah, that park is dog friendly. I go there every Saturday. Sometimes Susie from work is there too. To the person saying it, it is meaningless small talk. But to an AI-driven system mapping connections, it is a data point, a location, a predictable window of opportunity. From there, a stalker doesn't need to guess anymore. They can observe. They can wait for Susie to visit the park and then follow her home to find her address. And once one source is confirmed, the AI agent can branch out and identify follow-up targets in the network, like other co-workers or friends who may reveal even more. What starts as a friendly online interaction can quietly evolve into a structured intelligence-gathering operation, built entirely on trust but was never real in the first place. And the most unsettling part is this: the people being used to extract that information are not doing anything unusual. They are just being social, normal, helpful, which means the weakest point in the system is no longer technology alone. It is human trust itself. So the question is no longer whether AI can be used to track or find people. It already can. The real question is what the stalker will do with that information. And if they only stalk you online, or if they start to follow you physically, showing up at places you go and starting to harass you. Watch this video for ways on how to deal with a stalker.